Hi, down on the beach at Burnham-on-Sea this morning, which means it's a good opportunity to talk about some of the issues that have been in the news about sewage discharges over the last few weeks. Now, actually, over the last 6 years, we've been campaigning really hard about bathing water quality here off this part of the beach, and we've learned that it's a really multifaceted challenge. There's lots of issues around runoff from farmyards because the brew and the parrot, which discharge along the beach behind me, have enormous catchment areas, and so that's really hard to deal with. There are issues with the way that we dispose of waste and fats and stuff within the town, and we've had to deal with those, and the Environment Agency have had a coastal officer to sort of deal with that and to make improvements there. And then of course there's the improvements that we've needed from Wessex Water. Now, in fairness to Wessex, they have made improvements at a number of the sewerage stations very near to here, but there's lots more to do. And that all connects with what you've seen in the news over the last few weeks, which is the Environment Bill going through Parliament, and a member of the House of Lords wanting to amend it to force water companies to make all of the improvements necessary so that no sewage can be discharged into the sea. And a misrepresentation, I would say, of what the government said, which is that that's a potentially very, very expensive thing to do, although very necessary. And so it'd be better to sort of understand the costs before we say yes, because you, the bill payer, has to pick up those costs. So no one's voted to pump more sewage into the sea, which is some of the political nonsense that some of the opposition parties have been pumping out. But we did say that we probably need to understand the whole issue before we just cost you more money. Nobody ever said that it wasn't the right thing to do. Now, actually, the way that Parliament works is the bill, having been changed again by the Commons, is now back with the Lords. And what the government is doing, I think, is coming up with a compromise that will be acceptable to the Duke of Wellington, who's laid this amendment in the Lords, and will be acceptable to the House of Commons, which places a legal duty on the water companies to stop storm overflows, so therefore sewage doesn't discharge into the sea every time there's heavy rain, but recognises that we need to understand the full costs so we know how much we're hitting you with on your bills. And of course, we need to be clear with the water companies that once we understand these costs, they need to take a hit on their profits before they put money onto your water bill. So I hope that you agree that we're doing the right thing. There's been a lot of arguing. That's Parliament doing its thing. There's been a bit of misrepresentation. But fundamentally, I, as your local MP, remain committed to something I've been working on for 6 years with Natural England when it comes to the farming, with the Environment Agency when it comes to behaviours around how we discharge all sorts of stuff into the drainage systems and the watercourses, and of course with Wessex Water, who need to do so much to our sewerage infrastructure. And I'm going to keep doing that because this is a seaside resort. All year round, this is a popular place to be. I'm not sure many people are swimming in the water when it's only 5 degrees on a November morning, but the fireworks are being set up just over there for a fantastic event this weekend. This town needs clean bathing waters so that it can be the seaside resort that everybody loves, and I'm committed to making sure that that happens. And all the nonsense that's been in the news over the last few weeks, I'm afraid, is just nonsense. We will get this right.